You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 368 of Podketeers. This week, there was a power outage throughout the Disneyland Resort, and just imagine how you would feel if you got stuck on an attraction. Philharmagic gets its first update since launch with a very welcomed addition. Fireworks are back with a new opening line. The Disney company is starting a new food recycling program. Steakhouse 55 has sadly closed. Plus, Mel and Andrew talk about their recent trip to the parks. Remember that if you want to join the conversation, you can connect with us over on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Just search for Podketeers. But we'd love for you to join our growing community over on Discord. If you haven't joined us there yet, you can find an invite by heading to the blog post for this episode at podketeers.com/365. or by just going to podketeers.com and scrolling down on the page. Before we get this thing started, I want to take a quick moment to thank a very special group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content, and access to our monthly happy hour calls. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. So that's it. That's going to wrap up the intro. It's time to get this thing kicked off. So here we go. Here is episode 368 of Podketeers. So many things to talk about with you. I want to hear about your trip. I saw the photos. I saw the messages. I was so excited for you and everybody that was in the park this weekend. So I definitely want to talk about that. But then this was just one of those weeks where one thing after another was in the news cycle. There was so many things to talk about.
Jam-packed.
And I know. And I wanted to message you guys while you were in the park, and I thought, no, I need to hold back. I need to stop. All right, and then I would see something else. It's like, oh, no, wait, no, they're at Disneyland. Okay, hold back. Hold it back. Just put it in a keep document or something. So here we are, and like I said, we'll talk about your trip later on in the episode. But I guess we're just going to start off, right? We'll talk about some announcements that are coming to Disney Plus and new things that are happening in the parks. I guess we should talk about the power outage in the parks as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was
crazy.
Power outage.
The day after we were there, which was fantastic. So I guess, glad we didn't hit that.
Right, but at the same time, it's like, oh, we know how many people are there, and it's like...
I feel bad for them, yeah. It was.
Yeah.
It took down a good chunk of the park.
It did.
Yeah.
When I had noticed, our power, our grid is pretty much where the hotels are. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's not good, because one, we haven't seen anything like that. And last summer, nothing happened, so... I was like, wait. And then I hear, all the attractions are down. I'm like, whoa, how bad is this? Because you saw it was like, what, at least a dozen, or actually, practically all the e-ticket rides.
I mean, yeah, you sent a photo over, and it was a massive list of just everything you'd want to ride was down pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Haunted Mansion, Indiana Jones, Mad Tea Party, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Matterhorn, Smuggler's Run, Roger Rabbit, Snow White, Space Mountain, Splash Mountain. And that's not even the whole list, but that's insane.
Yeah.
And there was a good couple of hours that there was no power either. Mm-hmm. So if there was anybody that was looking forward to jumping into one of the attractions to escape the heat this weekend, they were a little out of luck at that point until they brought everything back up. I will say, though, that escaping the heat, I think, is a lot easier because you can run into a restaurant, you can run into one of the shops, you can figure out where you want to go.
Jump into the rivers of America.
You could. You'd probably get kicked out.
Yeah, I mean, you could. You'd cool down.
I mean, that's maybe on cucumber level, which we don't want to get to ever. For those that missed that, somebody at Walt Disney World jumped out during an attraction. They stole a cucumber, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Don't do what I'm saying. It was merely for comedy purposes.
Right.
only.
You want to be able to come back to the parks.
Right.
Buy a $5 bottle of water, dump it on your head. There's lots of things to do.
Right. And, honestly, it is what separates, like, a hardcore Disney fan from just somebody visiting the park, right? Like, a true Disney fan would never compromise being banned from the parks just for the sake of the glory of the 15-second video they're posting, right? So, anyway, enough of that. What really got to me was, my heart went out to everybody that got stuck on an attraction. When they started evacuating the Incredicoaster, I thought, well, at least nobody got caught in a loop, because I can tell you it is a scary situation when your roller coaster gets stuck in a loop. Years ago, I got stuck on Viper the week that it opened. That dated me a lot. But I got stuck on Viper as it was entering a loop, and it was not fun. So I can empathize with those people. But the ones that I felt the worst for was anybody that was on the fence of going on Mickey's Fun Wheel. Because being stuck, if you're afraid of heights and somebody's just leading you onto that attraction and they're telling you nothing's going to go wrong, it'll be
over in 5 minutes. It'll be whatever. You'll be fine.
Boom. Look what happened.
Down.
I felt so bad for those people. And like I said, anybody else, I guess if you end up getting stuck on any of the other attractions, depending on how long you're there or depending on how long it's going to come back up, if you don't get evacuated, I would think that the buildings have enough air conditioning where you would be fairly comfortable for the hour or so until you get taken out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like it's plausible. I mean, I've never been stuck on an attraction for that long, but it feels like that's plausible, especially considering most of them are underground and heat rises. So I don't think they're going to be as bad as being stuck on a roller coaster or anything like that. But, I mean, this is probably one of the worst times or one of the worst power outages that they've had in the park, at least resort-wide like that. And if you were in the park, I'm very sorry, especially waiting this long to go back and to have to deal with that for several hours. I can just imagine was kind of a pain.
Gotta be a total bummer, man. That's I mean, especially without the passes and all that stuff. I mean, or people on their vacations from who knows where, far away. It's like you lose a couple hours. I mean, luckily it didn't shut down the whole park, but that, influx of everybody coming from every attraction that was off into all the attractions that weren't, probably bolstered those wait times significantly.
And we kind of experienced something like that on our trip. And when you evac, like let's say 1, 2, 3, few stores, a restaurant, and an attraction, the land itself gets really, really packed. So I can't imagine
4 restaurants.
Right. I mean, my heart also goes out to the cast members because that's a lot. It's a lot to deal with because you have, you have your guests, you have the heat, and everything is just, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that they were able to bring power up fairly quickly. I mean, I don't know what it entailed, and I don't exactly know what was wrong. I know that they had the power outage, and I was kind of online when things started, being posted on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. Like, one attraction after another, people were posting the Disneyland app showing the new attractions that were going down. I hope that whatever caused it is fixed and it doesn't happen again. But I mean, electrical things, they can fail. I mean, it's a mechanical item, right? Anything that's mechanical can at any point fail. So,
and especially with the heat and everything, it's the draw.
Exactly.
You gotta. Sometimes you gotta choose according to the power companies, you got to choose which things can be on. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Well, I'm like I said, I'm glad they're past it.
Hooray!
But so many things coming to the park and so many things going. We got the news that Coco is coming to Mickey's Philharmagic. It is the first update to the show that's coming since it debuted. It started off at Walt Disney World, came over to California Adventure, and I've been super excited because I've never seen this show before. And
Oh, that's right.
I feel like I'm kind of mixed on this one because I feel like never having seen the original one, I feel like I'm missing out on it. My hope is that they are adding the new Coco scene, as to whatever already exists, and they're not removing something.
That was
going to
be my question. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Because at that point, I'm still getting a chance to see the original one. I'm just getting to see the addition along with it, right? And, I haven't seen any reports that anything is going to be taken out at this point, but I'd be pretty bummed out because the way that it's structured and the way that it's shot, the way that you see it, I've seen video clips of people posting it on YouTube and TikTok, and it's not the same. You don't get the same effect.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like anything that requires like that 3D look, the glasses, you're never going to get the full experience. Like even Web Slingers. Like Web Slingers was difficult to watch on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And some people try to put the glasses up to it so that you kind of get the whole, deal with it. But overall, like I said, I'm hoping that they don't take anything out and that they're simply adding to it. Both of you have seen it. I know that you have an idea of how the scenes go and everything. If they're adding it, where would each of you think that they would insert the Coco scene? Like, where would it make the most sense to transition into it?
By the Aladdin part?
I was thinking after Aladdin, I think would make the most
sense of transition.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. I saw it once here at DCA, and then I saw it in Walt Disney World, so it's been a while. But I know there's a Little Mermaid sequence, there is a Aladdin sequence, and there is a
Lion King.
Oh yes, I Just Want to Be King. I can't wait. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I think they'd probably shove it somewhere between stuff as opposed to like, okay, we're gonna add this at the end before the whole wrap up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be interesting if they do any other touching up to the film itself because it's like a 20-year-old, if not older, attraction.
Mm-hmm.
The animation is very early computer animation for a lot of like Aladdin and Little Mermaid and stuff like that. So you can see how stuff is different. So I wonder if they're going to be, upgrading those scenes to match with the, the new Pixar style and everything like that. Because the Donald Duck going into Coco and being like a way different rendered Donald Duck than Coco and everybody else might be a little jarring. So I wonder if there's any other updates coming to the attraction that haven't been announced.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I would assume that they're going to do that and they're going to make it look all pretty and stuff when they add the new scene. Because you're right, it would look super awkward. If it transitioned, it would look like DVD to 4K, right? It would look like a weird transition. So, or old Soren versus new Soren for those Soren fans out there.
You still get Patrick, but he's the best. Either one.
So I'm pretty excited about Mickey's Philharmagic being updated. I think Coco is a wonderful addition. I think Coco gets a good amount of representation at California Adventure. I think it's one of the newer properties that really, I think because also we're in Southern California is part of why it gets a lot more representation than others. Because even Miguel hangs around Rancho del Zocalo quite frequently over at
Yeah.
Disneyland. So it's nice to see that they have that type of representation. I think they're always trying to add it, and they're always trying to do stuff to make things more inclusive, which is why they updated the fireworks intro, right?
Yeah.
For a long time, the fireworks intro for any Disneyland fireworks was always Bill saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages." And then from there, it would go into the additional, intro for, whatever show it happened to be.
Mm-hmm.
But they recently added a new line at the beginning, which, because of how Disney is really concentrating on inclusivity, they've modified the opening of the fireworks show to, I believe now it's just dreamers of all ages. It doesn't have the ladies and gentlemen, doesn't have the boys and girls. They want to make sure that everyone can identify with the opening of this thing. And I mean, I love it. I love the
Yeah,
fact
it's
that they're being so
fantastic.
inclusive. Yeah. It is, I think, going to be a little jarring listening to it for the first time for a lot of people because it's so iconic.
Yeah.
But,
Mm-hmm.
we live in a world where we want to make everyone feel like they belong to something, right? And if
100%.
somebody doesn't happen to identify with either one of those pronouns, then you want to still make them feel like they're part of the magic.
Absolutely.
And I love the fact that it's removed altogether. I know there's going to be a lot of backlash from people saying, how dare they do this? But there always is, right?
Yeah.
You can't fight
Any
that.
change, somebody is going to comment on any change, even if it's 100% for the best.
Absolutely.
Somebody's gonna find something wrong with it, and you know what? I guess that's just gonna happen. But you know what? This is a step in the right direction. This is a step in, and it's great to be able to call everybody dreamers. Call everybody. It's we're not trying to address whoever, it's we're all dreamers. We're here to have fun. We're here to have our imagination and everything, and we're gonna watch this fireworks show, and it's gonna be fantastic.
And to quote Fantasmic, dream a fantastic dream.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's less words, and that means we get to see the fireworks sooner.
Yep.
Yeah. Those 3 seconds you get back.
You know what? Well, and then there's the Spanish, damas y caballeros and niños y niñas. That's gonna change too.
That's
I'm so used to
fine.
hearing
I don't know.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how that one was modified. I know that people were posting the audio from the fireworks because, we saw them testing that. We posted it on the Instagram stories for the Podketeers account. And, as soon as we found out, we posted it in the stories. I'm like, it's Mattercam time. Like,
Yeah,
watch this
yeah.
testing and everything, which was super cool. You'll have to tell me later when we talk about your trip if you had a chance to see any fireworks. So no spoilers.
Okay.
And if you didn't, then no problem, right? It is what it is. But I'm excited to hear how it is in Spanish. I'm excited to see if there's any variation to the shows that we end up seeing in DCA, because Camille is the voice of DCA, and how
True.
it'll change there, or if it's just going to be similar to what Bill says at Disneyland. Overall, fantastic change. We're totally on board with this, and we love it. I know that there's a lot of people that, like I said, are going to complain about this, but, I mean, we see a lot of changes in the parks, some positive, some negative, and I think this is one of the most positive ones that we've seen in a while that really isn't going to affect how you watch the fireworks.
Nope.
I don't even think it's worth arguing about it with some people. So
It happened.
It is what
it's
it is.
good, and we're done.
yeah, absolutely. Another thing that I saw this week that I thought was super cool is that Disney's going to be piloting like this new food recycling program. I know that they've really been doing a lot to become more eco-friendly. We've seen a lot of the utensils get replaced. We've seen like the straws and everything over at Magic Kingdom, at Animal Kingdom, and stuff like that. But there was an article in the Orange County Register this last week where they were talking about how Disneyland is going to be starting something at the Galactic Grill in Tomorrowland, where they're going to be adding an additional trash can. And so the trash can is going to be landfill, recycling, and food waste. And what they want to do with the food waste is they want to be able to compost it. Anything that's basically, as they said, unfit for human consumption, they're going to send it to a third-party vendor who's essentially going to compost it and make it feed for farm animals.
Oh.
Nice.
You know what? That's 100% better than just having all those pieces of pepperoni that you didn't eat go into the garbage and all that kind of stuff. Because, you see all the kids, they pick off the cheese, and then all that you have left is a piece of bread on the, your pizza or pick around and stuff. And that's so much food that goes to waste. So why not send it off to somewhere that's going to, use it for better, as opposed to them having to now buy another, grow some more food to feed these animals. We have all this, Disneyland, I'm sure, makes a ton of food waste in a short amount of time.
Yeah, it's definitely a good step to going green for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think their goal of achieving zero landfill waste is not far from now. It's 2030, I think, that is their target date. So, I mean, less than 10 years before they achieve that. I think for a park as small as Disneyland, it's definitely possible. I think they face larger challenges for Walt Disney World, considering the size difference between the two. But, yeah, I mean, it's funny because when I read the article, the first thing I thought of was, oh, man, those animals are going to have so much acid reflux.
Or so much tomato sauce.
I felt so bad. I'm sure that somewhere in the purifying process, when they're processing it, they take out all of that stuff so that it doesn't affect them, and they extract the nutrients and maybe put them into, like, food pellets or something like that. But
something
I
above
just
my
thought,
pay grade.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought, oh, man, if they dump cheese, I hope they're not lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Oh, man, if they're dumping spicy food or something, I hope they don't get acid reflux. And I don't know. It was a really weird thought process that went through my head regarding how the animals were going to feel after. And I just sat there and thought, why am I thinking this right now? This is weird.
Aww.
So I had to move on from that. But I did think that what they were doing as far as this new program was super cool, because you're right, they do have a lot of waste, and anything that they can do to minimize the waste for a park so large is fantastic. I think anything we can all do, I think, is fantastic. So
Yeah.
On a very sad note this week, we did get the news that Steakhouse 55 was closing.
That's sad.
And
Sad.
I have to admit, I've seen a lot of restaurants, I've seen a lot of things close on the resort, but Steakhouse 55 was one of the closures that I think hit home a little harder than a lot of the other ones, because I have a lot of really great memories there. Steakhouse 55 was always a place where like my wife and I would go have a really nice dinner, and we'd get away from the hustle and bustle of the park, because even Napa Rose, which is a really super nice restaurant, I mean, we've eaten there before, it's definitely high end, the food is fantastic, but Steakhouse 55 was just tucked into the Disneyland Hotel in such a way that it felt like it was still part of Disney magic, but it was far away enough that you felt like you were getting a nice quiet dinner somewhere, super fancy. Yeah, I mean, it's been there for quite some time. I mean, back in 1983, it was known as Granville's Steakhouse. And during one of the refurbishments of the hotel in 2006 is when it opened up as Steakhouse 55. So in that version of it, it hasn't been there very long, but the food was just phenomenal. I mean, my go-to for breakfast was always the Eggs Benedict. They were super, super good. They had some chorizo chilaquiles that were, mwah, oh my God, fantastic. As a matter of fact, on Instagram, some people were sharing some of the memories that they've had there. some of the meals that they enjoyed, and someone else mentioned the chilaquiles as well. Let me see if I can quickly find it. So here's some of the comments from Instagram. Our pal Michelle from Walt Vault podcast said, "Oh no, I've only eaten there once on our honeymoon." Punk Creek Dad said, "The best kept secret for a great breakfast." Absolutely. Yeah. This was go-to for us after every chalk walk, by the way. If we weren't over at Trader Sam's, we were at Steakhouse 55, depending on the size of our group after each chalk walk that we did. Our pal Heather, part of the FGP Squad, said, "I hope they bring back the tea somewhere on property." Agreed. Now, I never had a chance to do that. Mel, you had a chance to do it, right?
No, I've been wanting to. I never got a chance to it.
Did.
No.
Oh, okay. I saw somebody else mention that they had done it, that it was amazing.
Is that like afternoon tea or something like that? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alicia said, "Went there to celebrate my birthday a month before shutdown." Oh, so lucky.
Oh, man.
At least my final meal there was amazing. Mark says, "The breakfast there was the way to go for sure. Portions were bigger and better than anything in the park, and the price was cheaper compared to what you got." And that is so true.
Yeah.
Like, the portions were always spot on. There was always places where I would eat on resort where I felt like I had to order a little extra of this, a little extra of that. And I remember we were there once with AJ and VJ for breakfast, and I remember, and this was like a long time ago. This was like really early on. And I remember ordering like an extra stack of pancakes and everything, thinking like, yeah, I'll be fine. Like, I've ordered extra everywhere else on resort. I'm going to be good. After my initial meal, I was like, "Guys, you guys want some pancakes? I'm so full now." But yeah, it was super great. JB Mom says, "Hubby and I celebrated our anniversaries there every year. I feel for you. I feel exactly the same about that." Our pal Sarah says, "I never got to go and I always wanted to do the tea." Again, somebody else that was talking about the tea there. I know several people that really enjoyed doing the tea time there because they themed it, right? It was themed to different attractions, to lands, to movies or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And, I thought it was a super cool way to do it, but I was pretty sad that it was closing. There's no word yet on what's going to happen to that area at this point. You know, Andrew, you were talking about it earlier. You had a pretty good theory about it. Do you want to mention that?
Yeah, we were while we were in the park with some of our friends speculating, maybe because they're building that new fourth tower for Disneyland Resort or Disneyland Hotel. I'm sorry. I wonder, are they putting something in there that they thought might be going to compete with Steakhouse 55, so they're preemptively closing that and going to be redoing it to something else that's not going to compete with that. That was just one theory. I don't know, but it might be something to consider. Maybe something bigger and better is coming to the fourth tower, or the DVC tower, to Disneyland Hotel. And not to forget, also, a second restaurant closed same time as Steakhouse 55, the PCH Grill in Paradise Pier Hotel.
Yes.
I've never been there, but I've walked past it.
Yeah, I've never had the opportunity to eat there either, but it looked like they had a really great menu. I've never even walked by it, to be honest with you, but I did have an opportunity to see the menu that they had. There was tons of things on there that I could have seen myself eating. I mean, look, things on resort, they're difficult to find when you want something that, when you're a snack bar such as I, you always want something that's hearty, right? You want something that's going to feel like you paid whatever amount for and it filled you up and you feel content with the amount of food that you got.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fantastic places to eat on resort. There's a lot of really great food options, but I don't always feel like that. Like, I sometimes feel like I could have had a little extra of this, a little extra of that. And, like, Steakhouse 55 was always one of those places where I felt like they just got it right every single time, right? Regardless of what you got. Even desserts. Like, I've always had a huge sweet tooth. And even the portions that I got for dessert always felt like they were just right, and I was content by the time that I ate it. You know, and that's really hard to come by. The only other place that I feel like I ran into that same feeling was Whitewater Snacks inside of California Adventure, or inside of the Grand Californian.
Yeah,
like
Great
Whitewater
place.
Snacks is just, I mean, I loved going there. The nachos were always fantastic. I remember the first time I ate there, I had this carnitas burger with like guacamole and everything, and to this day I have dreams of that burger. It was fantastic. You know, when you find something on resort that you enjoy, especially when you don't have to go too far for it, you tend to cling to it, and you're
Yeah.
partial to that particular place. So definitely gonna miss Steakhouse 55. I guess for now, after Chalk Walk and everything, we can still do Trader Sam's, which tends to get pretty full after. But I don't know.
That just opened up.
Hopefully they do. It did just open up. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fantastic to see. But I mean, who knows? Maybe we're gonna get another version of the Napa Rose or something else. You know, that, like you said, is gonna compete on that level, especially if the DVC Tower opens. So only time will tell. It'll be nice to see what happens. But until we meet again, Steakhouse 55, I love you.
Here's hoping for bigger and better.
Yep.
In the eyes of an angel.
To donate now to save a Steakhouse 55 in your community, please call the number on your screen.
On that note, I think it's time to move on because I want to hear about your trip. But before we do, I do want to remind you that this episode of Podketeers is brought to you by a fantastic group of folks known as the FGP Squad, or as we call them, our podcast Fairy Godparents. And it's their support via Patreon that help produce and make these episodes of Podketeers on a weekly basis. Being a member of the FGP Squad family does get you some additional perks, like access to our monthly happy hour calls, exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content, random giveaways, and all sorts of cool stuff. And if you want more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, that's right. You can head over to podketeers.com/FGP for more information. There you'll find a list of some of our top contributors. You'll find a link for signing up on Patreon. And if you are unable to become a member of the FGP Squad family, that's okay. We still value that you're here. We love the fact that you're hanging with us on a weekly basis. But if you're at a point where you can help a little bit, best way to do that is to become part of the FGP Squad family. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to us. There's an exclusive section on our Discord server specifically for the FGP Squad as well, by the way. And again, just reach out to us, send us a message. And as always, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. Okay, so it's time. It's time for the main event. In this corner, we have Andrew.
I don't know.
And in this corner, telling us about her experience over at Disneyland with her Ohana, Melissa.
Woo! That was actually awesome. That was good.
All right. So, I mean, walk me through this because I was excited. I saw the pictures getting posted all day long. I was so happy for all of you being there. I don't care who starts. Let's do this. Walk me through your day here.
I'm gonna give you my day before update for everybody, just so they know. I got my Indiana Jones fanny pack that I mentioned on the podcast before. I found that we went to Downtown Disney the day before we went, and World of Disney had the Indy fanny pack, and I am excited to have it. And I wore it in the parks, and
this is the
fantastic.
alphabet soup fanny pack, right?
It says A, B, C, D, E on the front in Marabec, but it's nicely embroidered on the front with Indiana Jones and a couple other logos and stuff. And it was big enough to fit around myself, and I am a larger person, so that was nice. I also came away with a postcard, the Mara Indiana Jones 25th I believe, 25th anniversary Jeff Granito. I hope I'm saying that right. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Jeff
I bought
has some
2.
great art, man.
They also have a Indiana Jones Adventure Temple of the Forbidden Eye pin, and it's humongous, and it was only $10, and it has Indy, and he slides up and down, and it's fantastic. And last thing I got, the Walt with the Castle Funko. They had a couple in stock at World of Disney. I didn't think those were coming back, or they found some in the back room or something. I don't know, but I snatched one up. So that was my merchandise day before the parks. So I got lots of fun stuff. So that was the pre-trip, pre-Disneyland purchases.
Nice.
Very cool.
Anyway, into the park we go.
How do we start this? We had homework, and for the podcast, yeah, that didn't happen.
We had homework.
Well, I kind of did.
Oh,
I was supposed
Well, to take a bunch of photos and everything that
Yeah.
we were going to
Can I
post.
copy your
stuff,
notes?
of my notes, my homework. I failed. Oh my gosh.
I got some photos. I'll get you some photos, Heyzen. We got photos.
We'll
I mean,
make
look, if ever there was a time to just be like, it's cool, don't worry about it, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I can't. So, I mean, watching your photo stream over the weekend filled me with joy, right? Because I've been ready to go back to the park, but yet I've been concerned because of me, right? I don't know where I am health-wise to be like, yeah, let's rip the mask off. We're totally good to go. And so seeing you there smiling and, I mean, everybody, you filled up a IndyCar. I mean, we'll get to that later. But, I mean, it filled me with hope, right? It filled me that things are starting to look normal. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. You talk. I mean, it's
first ride of the
it's hard
day,
to
Haunted
explain.
Mansion. Kicking it off
Yeah.
on a high note. Haunted Mansion right at the beginning of the day.
started there.
Yeah, started there. Lighting upgrades were great.
Can't
yeah,
wait for
there's-
you to see it.
Yeah, there's some new stuff, new lighting in the seance room that was good. There's just a lot of stuff that it was a little brighter, well, a little more saturated, I guess. But it was a little brighter where I noticed some things I hadn't noticed before in the mansion. And I've been on the mansion probably 100 times at this point or more. And there's stuff that I didn't notice, or that I just recently noticed. Like, I've never noticed in the ballroom there's a raven sitting on the railing of the stairs that go up in the back. I never noticed that before. So stuff has changed, or I don't know what's going on. Ballroom lighting, all the ghosts, it's much more vibrant. Same thing with the graveyard. More vibrant colors. It looked great. The UV, their white eyebrows were all glowing purple. It was cool. It was fun. It was a good time.
Pretty much in Grim Grinning Ghosts, you get to see the ghosts that
they look
sing in the song. It's who performed the song. So that's the best way to say is like you could see everyone. So it is awesome. So it's giving. I think it's gonna give you photographers eye candy and like a new playground.
Yeah. Plus,
If that makes
it's,
sense.
yeah, and it's brighter, so you should be, hopefully not having to have your, ISO all the way up and your long exposure. You can hopefully get a little bit, squeaking a little less noise in your photos, because it is significantly, at least the light on the characters themselves is significantly brighter. But in a good way. It makes them look more ghostly.
Yeah.
The combination of the UV lights plus this, kind of tealy green, cyan color on them just gives it this real eerie look, and it's fantastic. I really enjoyed all the new lighting upgrades in Mansion.
Can we back up just a little bit?
Do it.
I'm sorry. We're going to start on Main Street.
I do want to ask you one question that I don't want to forget about Mansion, if you don't mind, before we go back
Sure.
to Main Street. Were there any enhancements that look like they owe us a check? were any of the enhancements anything we talked about in Armchair Imagineering where I got to send someone a bill?
Okay, I will say this. Not Mansion, but someone knows me for Snow White. And I'm excited to talk about just a little bit of it because, yeah. I was like, oh my God, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mansion,
All
Mansion
right.
it didn't look like they did. From what I noticed, there wasn't anything on ride character-wise that was added, unless it's like very well hidden. It would look like it was mostly technical and lighting upgrades.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
But
I'll
the
take
queue,
that for now.
yeah, the queue with the photo with April, December, and the cat, the one-eyed cat statue, that looked great. They upgraded the handicap wheelchair accessible section of the queue. They kind of pushed the line over a little bit and gave that space a little more room, so it kind of made everything a little bit easier in that section. So if you have someone in your party that uses a wheelchair, you'll have a little bit easier time navigating, turning around, all kinds of that stuff inside the mansion loading area. So that was nice.
I getcha. Okay. All right. I was a little concerned that I was going to have to send a bill to somebody, but okay. No problem. Sorry about that. Let's go back to Main Street.
That's okay.
now.
Main Street. Melissa's
It's
walking
okay.
down Main Street.
I didn't take video.
Nope, I don't think anybody did.
I would definitely recommend, and I'm going to just echo what Larry has said and just take it in. Just take it in. When we came back from DCA, that's when I started taking more pictures. But just hearing everything and just walking through. Oh, one thing I will say. A lot of elbow space, and I could see the floor.
Yeah.
Yes, you could see the floor. I haven't seen the floor in this capacity I want to say before 2005.
But yeah, when off season used to exist.
So
yeah, we didn't really have to do a lot of like bobbing and weaving around people, which was nice. And we walked into Adventureland. We started walking through Adventureland in the morning, and there was nobody. We walked straight through. It was
Wow.
When the park hoppers came over, there's a little more people in the park, it seemed. But yeah, it still overall was a very enjoyable experience, crowd level wise.
yeah.
Okay. So
And-
that was going to be one of my questions. I did want to know how you felt because I think, like on a safety level, I think we're all at the point where we trust the science, right? But
Correct.
I think we've all had the conversation outside that what we don't trust are the people that apparently just refuse to trust the science, right?
100%.
To put it
Right.
nicely.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know how you felt, if there was any point where you felt like this is unsafe. I feel like I should have worn a mask. Like I didn't, maybe I should have taken a step back. Like mind your 6 feet sort of thing while you were standing in line or anything like that. Like was there any point where you thought like, okay, there's a lot of people. I'm starting to feel like a little uncomfortable at this moment? Or was it
No.
so streamlined? Was it so easy to get on attractions or anything that at no point did you ever feel like that?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of like what we waited in a line the longest for, and I mean I don't think we waited more than, I think Indy was probably our longest inside a
30.
queue. And that was still, people were still, you were in the switchbacks, and so you'd be next to people, but people were still giving you a little bit more space than you were used to. A couple of places it did get a little tight if you were uncomfortable in clothes, like the stretching room for sure, fill in all available space, squeezed in there like sardines. But then once you get out of the stretching room again, then people seem to be giving you a little more space than you would have in the past. So, yeah, people seem to be pretty courteous for even though there were very few people wearing masks.
This is one positive though. No one said anything in the stretching room.
Oh, it was fantastic.
It
Nobody
was
screamed.
silent.
It
Yes.
was the best stretching room I've ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody said a word. Nobody screamed when he screams or anything.
Nothing.
It was fantastic.
I would love
loved
that.
it.
I think I've only been a part of a stretching room like that once in my entire time that I've been going to the park, and it's like, we get it, you know it. Don't ruin it for everybody else. Let us enjoy what we're here for.
Exactly.
I think that's what it is.
Who
Like,
sings this song?
We just
okay,
missed
them.
it.
Let them. Yeah. I want to hear him say it.
Right.
That's great. Yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because, I mean, I think Disneyland is still technically at 35% capacity right now. And I know that with the park hoppers, they attribute, or they somehow manage to balance out the load even with park hopper sales between the two parks, right? And I've seen tons of videos and tons of photos of, like, people on Main Street, for instance, where people are saying, like, this is not 35% capacity. You have to keep in mind that in comparison to Magic Kingdom or any of the other parks, Main Street and Disneyland are really, really small. So even if the entire park is at 35% capacity, a crowd can look at 100% capacity on Main Street when everybody's getting together to watch the fireworks show.
Yeah,
or
at
they're
Rope
going to
Shop
see.
or whatever.
Or even
like
at Rope Shop,
specifically
exactly.
in the first 10, 15 minutes of the morning, where everybody's filing into Main Street and stuff like that. It's going to look crowded because everybody is in that one spot. But yeah, throughout the day, it did. You could tell if you took a photo, it would look bad. But once you're in the mix of it, it was definitely a difference if you've experienced the crowds at Disneyland for yourself.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
One good thing I could say is that there was plenty of hand sanitizers
Everywhere.
stands everywhere. And
interesting. They
we
still
did
left
see
those.
like cast members, and cast members were replacing them, refilling them. We kept seeing that too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you were able to come off of an attraction, boom, there was one right there.
One or two or three. They were all over the place. So it was nice to be able to see that, because I forgot to bring hand sanitizer with me. So it was whoop, 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 lots of hand sanitizer all around.
Right on, man. It's good to hear. Good to hear.
So so after Mansion, did you have more to say about Main Street, Melissa? Because we started talking about all kinds of stuff.
Oh no,
Okay.
that's pretty much it. Just
Yeah. But it was great to just walk down Main Street and be like, oh, here's that music I remember. Do 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 do. Yeah. So after Mansion, we headed to Indiana Jones, and that was great. I did notice that when we were seeing the photos from opening, it really, in the videos, it really looked like Mara's face in the, the big head and with the fire and everything. That one, it looked like there is a projection on it, but seen in person, it's just a fantastic paint job. They did something with like some UV paints and something like that. It looks incredible, and knowing that it's a paint job, it just makes it even better that it's all physical setup and everything, and just looking, fantastic.
But the best part was smell. There's
You
a
smell the Indy
specific
smell.
smell to it. Oh, Disneyland.
I mean,
smells.
they also changed. I have a gripe. I have one gripe with Indiana Jones right now, and I'm assuming that this is a change just during this capacity issue and stuff like that. But the projection room in the queue, they are playing a truncated version of Sala's video, and not playing the like newsreels between them. So it's just like a back to back to back Sala just going. But they take out the part where he says, "I'm Sala."
Yeah.
And they take out the part
It's
where
like
they say
rough.
they take out the part where they talk about the seat belts, which I thought was an interesting choice to take out. So I'm sure that this is going to be coming back once all the the limits are off and they can run the queue like it was before, because the whole queue was run a little differently than in the past. But that was my one gripe that I was not expecting.
How long were you in the projection room?
A few
I don't know,
minutes.
maybe less than 10.
Yeah.
But the
So
Sala
you could have seen the
narration-
entire video, though.
Oh, twice probably, because the Sala narration's like a minute maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
the newsreels are about a minute, and so we saw the Sala spiel, the truncated one, probably 12 times. I don't know. We saw it
Yep.
so many times because it was like 30 seconds, and I have a feeling that it was a holdover from, okay, everybody's queuing outside. We're running these people through the queue up to the Jeeps. So we need to get them to hear the safety spiel really quickly as they mosey through these, switchbacks. So I hope it comes back. I'm sure it will. That was just an interesting thing I noticed.
Well, here's what I think. If it's still truncated, I think next time when we go, I think you should just be like, my friends, forget about the recording. This is what I want to say.
Yeah. Look at you. Ignore this. Stop the projections. Welcome, my friends, to the Temple of the Forbidden Eye. I, Sala. And just keep going from there.
That's
do
right.
the whole thing, and then I'll do all of the newsreels as well. We'll do just the whole thing. Everybody they can stop the projection. I'll just stand up on in front of those big tablets, and we'll go have a heyday. It'll be fun.
Perfect. Then we've set it up.
There we go. Call me Disney. We'll make it work. I have the costume already. I have a Sala costume. I'll just you need a Sala, I'm right here. But yeah, so Indy was great. Then we went to Space Mountain.
Yeah, Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland. We got a churro. That's what we got. Churro next. I'm pretty sure we got a churro next.
You guys did.
We got a churro. Oh, Melissa didn't get a churro.
Not yet.
I got a churro and a Coke, and it was fantastic. And it was just as I remember, and everybody should have a churro. It was great. I loved it.
Did you get the new Coke coffee or just the Coke?
No, just a Coke. Just a plain old Coke.
Can
but then
I tell you something? Total
Go ahead.
Total sidebar to that.
Yeah.
You know that
sidebar.
Coke coffee thing? Like 10 years ago, 15 years ago now. Oof, yeah, that just felt really old all of a sudden. Let's just say a long time ago.
Many moons
at
ago.
Many moons ago, at a previous place of employment, my crew and I used to place orders for our facility, and we always got like Rockstar and Coke cans and all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that I always ordered in addition to that were the little, they look like coffee creamers, but they're an added caffeine shot by a company called Stoke. # not
Okay.
sponsored.
Oh.
And so we would take Coke cans and we would throw a shot of Stoke in there and make our own like coffee Coke. And that's what we drank in the morning to like get us going. And maybe middle of the day we'd have another one. And so when I saw this coffee Coke thing, I was like, wait a second. Someone else owes me a check right now.
Man, you're just all up on top of all of the trends before they happen. Man.
Right? Anyway, sorry. I didn't want to derail what you were saying. Go ahead.
That's okay.
So you made Larry jealous. You got a churro.
Made Larry jealous. We got a churro. And then we met a great
Sam.
a couple great cast members. Yeah,
Yes.
she was fantastic.
We met a friend, and we just struck up a conversation while we were there, just talking about the, actually, it was down for a moment, so we had left and came back, and ended up just talking to her after that. Man, we just made her day, and she made ours.
She was so nice.
She made some Disney magic happen, and it was awesome. It was really awesome. And she was like, you guys have been so nice. And I had to take a moment and be like, some of us are former cast members, so we totally understand. And from there, it was like, do you want to join us? you know, she could have been with us. It would have been fine. She was
it was
amazing.
And she brought her a lead or somebody over. She's having a problem with her little phone thing. And he comes over, takes care of it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, here, he's a big Star Wars guy," because we were talking about Galaxy's Edge and Rise of Resistance and stuff.
Right.
Because we weren't able to get our Rise of Resistance in the morning, our return time in the morning. So she was giving us the tips on that, and she goes, "Oh yeah, he's a huge Star Wars." Star Wars guy. He goes, tell him what your daughter is named, and he goes, "Oh, her name's Mandy Lorian."
What?
Right?
Yeah.
We were just like, that is amazing. And
it's not Amanda or anything. It's Mandy Lorian.
Mm-hmm.
So that's her name.
Wow.
So that was fantastic. She did give us some great tips on getting the Rise of Resistance fast pass or return time. Keep calling it fast pass. And we ended up getting it in the afternoon. So we'll spoil that.
Nice.
So yeah, that was great. Great tips for anybody if you're in the park trying to get the noon one, or if you're at home. Just be on that app. Make sure you have all your party's tickets in there.
Be in an open area.
Be on good internet. If you're at home, be on your good internet. Or if you're at Disneyland, be in a good spot with cell service, open area, clear skies. And right there at 11:59 and 58 seconds, swipe your thing, and hopefully you get it. We all did the same thing. 4 of us, I think, got the button join to come up. I was fast enough. I was the fastest. Click join and got it. All the other 3 people that had gotten it, it aired them out, but we all got it. So that was fantastic. So that was a great tip from her. So Sam, if you're listening, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you for the Disney
That's
magic.
awesome.
Sam at Space Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we Space Mountain. We rode Space Mountain. It was great to be on Space Mountain.
A lot faster than I remember. So yeah, we screamed
Yeah.
a lot. There went my voice.
Photo pass photos. Oh,
Oh yeah.
we got the Photo Pass, $20 for the digital Photo Pass photos, and that was a good deal. That was worth it, especially if you're going as a group or you're gonna go on all the rides with the on-ride photos, or you're gonna take a lot of, you're gonna make use of the Photo Pass. $20 is a good price, I think.
And we ended up with 24 pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could have done more if we wanted to stop, but we didn't. We were just go. But yeah, that seemed to be a good deal to get the digital Photo Pass at this time. Because before they were offering it with Max Pass if you're getting Max Pass.
Yeah.
With your ticket. So they're offering it just solo, which was I'm used to just having it on the annual pass, but for this one trip, it's like, oh, we can split it up a bunch, amongst the group, and it's almost nothing. So yeah, because we had 9 then 8 in our group. But yeah, we got a ride. We took up a whole row, the whole front row in Star Tours.
Yep.
We got some Plaza Inn chicken. No waffles. I forgot about the waffles. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Heyzen. I forgot about the Plaza Inn waffles. I don't know if they have them.
I have to admit, I was
but
a little disappointed in you when I didn't see waffles on your plate.
I forgot.
We were so caught up in everything.
I was just like, we're here. There's a walk-up line. There was a walk-up with no line, and it was, 12:10? It was like lunchtime. And
It
there
was great.
no
Oh,
line for Plaza.
And we found a table that fit all of us.
A table in the air conditioning that fit everybody. It was whatever, events that led to us getting that specific thing with no line, got the food, paid, and sat down. It was fantastic. It was a great break in the middle of the day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm so sad I didn't get the waffles.
I have to
I
admit
do
that I've been jonesing for some Plaza Inn chicken. I almost said coffee. For some chicken, but I don't know what it is, but over the last week, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I need Monte Cristo. And now it's all I can think about, and just sitting in New Orleans Square eating a Monte Cristo.
yep, that's how it started for me too.
Yeah, it's Yeah, it was so great just to have those like familiar flavors back, to have the option to get them. Because the churro, the chicken, the mashed potatoes are fantastic at Plaza. If you get the mashed potatoes, they're great. Yeah. They're my favorite part. I love the chicken, but the mashed potatoes, I could like eat a whole plate. I'm a huge fan of mashed potatoes in the general, but their mashed potatoes and gravy are fantastic. So that was a great lunch. Great, like, it was just good to sit because it was, I live up in Northern California where it is blistering hot. We're like 20 degrees warmer than you guys down there, but we don't have any humidity.
Oh, the humidity was horrible.
It was a bad humidity day at Disneyland, and it was uncomfortable to say the least. I drank so many liquids and did not use the facilities very much. That is how much I sweated during the humidity. Sorry to get a little gross, but yeah, it was a day. But you know what? It wasn't. The temperature wasn't bad. It was in the 80s, which for me is a great temperature when it's. We drove home and it was 99. So yeah.
So
we got out. I was like, I'm in the oven.
Fantasyland.
Yes.
Fantasyland. So we walk through. We're going through the castle. I stopped and I was like, I'm gonna hug this castle, and then
she hugged the castle.
I did.
Aww.
But I wiped my hands with Purell afterwards. But I was like, I needed to hug this castle. I missed it. I don't care what anyone says. I'm doing it. From there, we went on Mr. Toad's.
Yep.
And it wasn't as hot, which was different. We're like, hey, we're waiting for the heat. But it was fun. It was fun to just relive that tale again. And Snow White's Enchanting Wish. Okay, so I've said this many times. I am not a princess person. Oh my gosh, that attraction made me want to cry. Like the emotions that you get while riding through this story. Good job, Imagineers. Ooh,
yeah, it was great.
It's beautiful, beautiful. And remember when we had the Fantasyland armchair episode? And I wished for magic windows.
Yeah.
There's magic windows in the queue, and they're inside as well. Oh my gosh,
that's fantastic.
I flipped
they
out.
owe you a check.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome to see it because in the queue, that window you see before you load didn't have anything. And the way that they've added, so cool because it gives you a glimpse of what you see inside.
Uh-huh.
So I was ecstatic to see that. And I can't wait for you to, experience it. It was cool just to see that. I'd be like, oh,
yeah, it flows so much better. There's not like, it's a lot of quicker beats and and just the effects are great and stuff like that. You get more of the story in the attraction. You get the whole story as opposed to a little bit of the story and mostly the scary part of the story. So a lot of the scary, there's still some scary, but not as much scary, but a lot of cool. And yeah, it's I was
true
amazed.
To the story.
Yeah. And it was for a Fantasyland dark ride, like what you expect. I think this puts it a cut above, I think, everything. And I think it puts it above Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a strong
yes.
statement.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very good upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a little biased. My Peter Pan was already like number 2 for me anyway, or number 3 for me anyway. So, but I'll put it's number 1 right now. It's great. It goes for me. Snow White, Alice, Toad, Pan, Pinocchio. Sorry, Gavin, putting Pinocchio at the bottom.
Wow, I can't wait to see it now.
Yeah, it was great. It was very, very good. From there, we went to the Matterhorn. And
Yep.
we used our little bit of magic from our friend Sam at Space Mountain and boarded the Matterhorn almost immediately. Got to see Harold.
That was awesome.
Got a little back adjustment from from the bobsleds, and it was fun. It's that is a scary ride, my friends. It's fun, but it is a frightening.
But we were on the
ride.
Cobb side.
Huh?
We were on the calmer side, though. We
were on the calmer
rough
side. We're on the left side. The left track.
Right side.
Right track.
Yeah.
Left track.
Left track goes crazy.
Left track.
We were
is
on the left.
crazier
No,
one.
we were on the left track.
Oh, I don't even know.
We were on the left track.
Okay, whichever.
Anyway, I know we're on the left track because I know when we. The only way I know is because I know when we left, we went out and there was the smoking area, the old smoking area, and the fast pass machines.
True. Like wait.
But anyway,
Mel was just
yeah,
so enchanted by being on the attraction that she didn't even know.
I was.
Yeah, I mean it's fun, but it's a wild ride, and I forgot how
it's
wild
funny.
that was. Yeah. And then
funny.
we went to.
You know, we didn't go to Toontown.
At all. I was sad.
No.
I
Wow.
was sad after the fact because I
sorry.
forgot about it. No, it's not a problem. Like, we did so much. In this day, we did so many attractions. And, you know, when we used to have a pass, it was, oh, we'll do whatever. We'll hang out. We'll walk around. We'll go see this. We'll go see that. We did so many things.
If I'm not mistaken, I try to write all of them down. It's
Mhm.
18.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
For,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, shortened day and with breaks and stuff like that. It was
What
good.
was your
It
time
was-
span? From what time to what time were you in the park?
Oh, we were
Total.
open to
Opening to
close.
close?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we got in the park at like 8:10, I think. And then we left and it was 10:40.
Nice.
But yeah, so we did I'm trying to remember what we did next after the Matterhorn.
Where did we go off to?
Oh, we went to the Matterhorn and then we got a Rise of Resistance Fast Pass.
Oh yes, we had to go somewhere and plan all that out too. So
Yeah. And then I think that's when we actually got lunch after that. And then we went to DCA. And they rode the Incredicoaster because I'm a big chicken and I did not, but everybody else did, and which was fine.
which was fun, and it
was
was
it
only
fun?
like 10 minutes.
It was
That's
just
not
we
bad.
walked pretty much doot. Yeah, it was quick. Did a loop around, did the Little Mermaid, another, just a solid attraction.
I want to say the only thing that was just difficult is just there's not as much shade, and that kind of that was difficult on us.
Especially on our next stop at Avengers Campus. That place is a heat trap.
Yeah.
It is all concrete and hard surfaces that make it hot.
Pretty sure it's the big arc reactor in the center of.
Well,
the,
that's
of the-
that's
Oh,
where we
that's
were
generating
standing.
so much heat. Yeah.
We kind of learned that fast
Yeah,
because we were standing on that.
We were standing right on top. We walked. We're like, okay, we're gonna go. Let's go after Little Mermaid. We were gonna go ride Soarin', but it was such a long wait. I'm like, we'll go take a mosey through Avengers Campus. We don't have a Web Slingers Fast Pass, but we'll go take at least see the new land. No
Right.
line to get in. You're able to walk in now, no problem. We walk in. There's a crowd gathering. Look at the app. Oh, Spider-Man's coming out in 2 minutes. So we standing on the arc reactor, getting a little warm. So we decided to not stand on the arc reactor
It
anymore.
only took us a minute.
Yeah.
Literally a minute.
And but yeah. So after we got off the hot thing, we got to see Spider-Man fly through the air, which was very
Yeah.
cool. Just you walk right in, stand, and there goes Spider-Man. The land is fantastic. It's weird to see this layout and try and figure out where stuff used to be when it was Bugs Land. Because it doesn't make any sense until you have to sit there and think, okay, this is where you walked in, and this and this and this, and The only way you can kind of get your bearings is the bathrooms are in the same spot. So if you remember where the Bugs Land bathrooms were, you'll know where you kind of get it. But it's laid out completely different. It was great to see. Even if you don't get a Web Slinger Fast Pass, go and walk through the land. It was great to see. We saw Melissa saw Thor, I think.
I did, and T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. You just don't know who's gonna be there, and my heart broke when I learned that Iron Man was the day before. And I'm like, oh.
Oh, they don't all come out on the same. They don't come out each day. Oh.
Because my buddy who went, she wanted to see Thor, and she was jealous that I got to see Thor, and I was like, girl, you saw Iron Man. That's who I wanted to see.
I mean, look, I've seen photos of the Iron Man on Avengers Campus, and let's just say that you saw Thor.
Yeah. Thor, and he's got his cool hat.
He does.
And he's got his hammer. And then our friend got a shawarma, and he said it was great. We went over to Stage 17, and that Stage 17 is just full of Avengers Campus merch.
Yeah.
So if you don't,
Wait,
if you can't
from
find,
Pim's Test Kitchen though.
it was only you had to have a reservation.
Oh,
I was
It
trying
was-
so hard. I wanted the candy bar so badly, and it was just full. Everything was full. Or I definitely would have ordered a bunch of stuff, but especially the candy bar. But yeah, we went to Stage 17, and they have the backlot shop, and that had a bunch of the Avengers Campus gear, a cool like Spider-Man vehicle toy thing that roll around with Spider-Man on the top. It's the vehicle from the attraction, some photo ops and stuff like that. So if you're looking for Avengers Campus merch, it's all over there. We didn't go into the Web Slinger store, but we did see the one kiosk that had some stuff, and moseyed over there. And I think that was after that ended our trip to DCA.
Yeah,
Right.
we didn't go to Radiator Springs. Nothing. I think we just wanted to be at Disneyland.
They wanted to ride the Incredicoaster, and we wanted to see Avengers Campus, and we did.
Nice.
So yeah. Let's see some of the highlights when we got back. We did Mr. Lincoln when we got back because we wanted to sit in the air conditioning
and cool down.
and cool down. Great spot to cool down. And then we went and rode. I think we went to attempt to ride Pirates of the Caribbean. For the second time.
And this is where the part where I was talking about everyone evacuating.
Mm-hmm.
We just happened to be walking through. We're like, okay, let's go. And we didn't realize that the fire alarms were going off. So they were evacuating everyone on that area. Restaurants, Club 33. I felt terrible for them too.
Yeah, we were rolling up to the side entrance of Pirates, and they're closing all the Pirates or the Haunted Mansion shop, closing all the doors. You see the flashing light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go ride the train. We wanted to ride the Disneyland Railroad. Go over there. Oh, the Disneyland Railroad's not. Well, we didn't know this, but we're just saying all the restaurants file out, all the cooks, all the Club 33 members, all dressed to the nines, in their fancy clothes and everything. Everybody's at that fountain in New Orleans Square, and we don't know what happened. Something set the fire alarm off. Cafe Orleans, French Market, everybody got evacuated. The Disneyland Railroad had to stop running. So we got out of that line, and we went and rode Winnie the Pooh.
Pivot.
Yeah, pivot. Larry said pivot.
That's it.
We
Pivot.
took his, his idea, his tip, and we pivoted. We rode Winnie the Pooh. And you know what? Winnie the Pooh was there, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was just as good. Winnie the Pooh. I like Winnie the Pooh. It's cute.
I know I make fun of
celebrating
it,
a
but it's
birthday.
cute.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Pooh. I love when the big storybook pages flap against the wall. It always makes me laugh. But yeah.
I can't ever be on that attraction and not turn around to see Max Buff and Melvin.
Yes.
It's just a thing
me
always
too.
have to do.
100%. they're there. You gotta say hi. You gotta say hi.
Yeah.
What happened after that? I think then we ended up on the railroad.
Yes.
We took a Grand Circle tour from New Orleans Square.
I was so happy to do exactly what I wanted to do, and I was ride with my Ohana. Well, I wish there was more, but we got to do that. Grand Circle tour was fun to see everything, and get away from everything too.
And that's when I got my cool New Orleans Square stainless steel cup.
Yay!
And some beignets. We got some beignets. Beignets were good.
The traditional ones, or did you get any of the flavored ones?
Just the traditional, because Tina, my wife, she hadn't had them before, so she got some beignets, and Melissa took a picture while I was in the middle of eating one, so that was fun. And I had powdered sugar all over my face, but that's okay. You couldn't tell.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
Holding the bag up, that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. What are you gonna do? It's good. So yeah, after that, I think we finally, after we did our Grand Circle tour, we ended up getting on Pirates of the Caribbean for our third attempt.
For the second time at this point.
Yeah. Third. We were gonna try and in the morning after we got our Indy, we were gonna go on Indy. We got a return time for Indy because of, and then we went to, we were gonna go to Pirates, but that was down right in the morning for some reason. So yeah, that was the third attempt to ride Pirates. We finally got it. It was great. Except they were loading. This is another one that was kind of maybe been a little uncomfortable. Was they loaded that boat full to the brim?
Yeah, we took two rows, so it was like four people in each row.
Every row had 4 adults in it, except for the first row had like 3. We were sitting so low in the water, and I got more wet than I had on Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
when going down that drop. I was soaked. My arm was like it just took a shower. It was wild. But
the water effects too.
Yeah.
In the battle scene, those cannons.
The cannonballs just shooting water up and just drenching you in water. Some great effects. They did a lot of lighting upgrades in there, a lot of shimmering in the treasure room and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good ride on Pirates.
Rise.
Then we did Rise,
which I did not know that some things weren't working. I wouldn't have known because I was in awe again of attraction is, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's my first time on, my wife Tina's first time on. So Q was great. The transport vehicle, General Beck and Nine Nub, that was fantastic. Seeing the racing is back with BB-8. Just seeing that room with all the stormtroopers. I wish I understand the story of it. They're like, okay, you have to get to interrogation, but I wish you could linger in that room a little longer. They make it seem you gotta like shuffle through real quick, but you want to get a photo of those stormtrooper animatronics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to bask in the glory.
Hang out a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and they it seems like they want you to go. I mean, I understand the plot of the story wise. You got to get to interrogation, but I want to hang out in there for like 10 minutes and just kind of see what's going on. But yeah, it was great. The attraction was fantastic. A lot of the big set pieces weren't working, and I know this because I spoil all the rides as soon as they're released, and I watched the video, so I know what was missing. But it was still fantastic. I'd never been in a trackless ride vehicle before, so that was a trip to just be in that. But yeah, the big Kylo Ren animatronic with the window scene that was not working. The cannons moving back and the cannons moving back and forth weren't working. The part where he cuts this hole in the ceiling wasn't working.
I forgot about all that. I was like, I didn't care. I was on a ride.
Yeah, the part where he walks with the lightsaber wasn't working. Like, it was a lot of the big like tricks, trick up your sleeve kind of stuff. like a big. It was all like right next to each other. All that stuff happens like right next to each other. All wasn't working, so it was like a weird lull in the ride, but it was still fun. I had a great time. I'm so glad we got our return time. I'm so glad we got to ride it and experience it. But so I just had to watch it when we got home, which was fine.
I wonder if it was down that morning as well, or if it was just for your group.
I don't know.
It could have been, but
yeah.
we were told that 7 a.m. boarding passes go. I mean, they're out.
They said 10
within
seconds.
10 seconds, and I believe it. Because I even tried it at home, and I had the tickets. I had everything there.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, just like that. It was just like, nope, you gotta try again at noon, but it's okay. It still worked out. So
yeah, we got on, and it was great. So after that, we I think we headed and we did some of the last wrap up stuff. We did Buzz Lightyear, and the lighting in Buzz Lightyear is fantastic. Everything's so vibrant and bright. I don't know if they repainted everything and added new lights or what, but it was so bright, so cool. That's another one. If you like to take pictures in there, that is like must be twice as bright in there. Everything's so vibrant that it was like it was a treat. It was like being in a cartoon. It was very cool inside Buzz. And we rode Big Thunder, which was also fantastic.
And it was really cool to see the tags again after knowing about the SEA and being like, I know that name. Fantastic.
Saw Jason Chandler tag that was outside Galaxy's Edge, and then another a Barnabas T. Bullion tag hanging out above near the Disneyland Railroad track in Frontierland. But nice. I don't know what they did on Big Thunder. Yeah, on Big Thunder, because it was the smoothest ride I've ever been on. It was the most pleasant, the fastest, the smoothest ride on Big Thunder I've ever been on. It felt like a brand new roller coaster. It was so fast, so smooth. It was intense. That's my of the mountains, Big Thunder is my favorite, and that was the best ride. It was such a good thing to kind of start closing out the night, was riding that, and it was very good. And I'm so pleased with whatever they did to make that happen, because it was fantastic. Yeah,
and then you guys ended up going on Smuggler's Run, and then we rounded off, ending the night in the Tiki Room.
Yep, close out the night Tiki Room. It was a great way to end the night. I almost fell asleep on a bench, but yeah.
I remember before we started, I was talking about the fireworks and the pictures that we were seeing posted online, and I said, don't tell me, don't spoil it, but I remembered you guys went right before they started doing fireworks again, so you didn't have the opportunity
the
to
day before,
actually see them in the park. Yeah. Ah, man. That's the only thing I feel like I'm bummed out for you guys about, but
you know what? I was so so content with everything we got to do. It was such a great day. I mean, only minor troubles with dinner. We were trying to find something. We were in New Orleans Square trying to find dinner, and everything in New Orleans Square is mobile order or reservation. So that was kind of hard to find. We ended up, except Hungry Bear had one walk up. Everything else was mobile order only. And it was, the thing where, this is for a half hour, 45 minutes away thing. So that's that. I'm not the biggest fan of mobile ordering, but I understand why it has to happen at this point. I'm excited for when walk-up ordering resumes at some of these restaurants, like French Market. That was one that I was for sure. This one's going to be cafeteria style. Great. We'll just get some chicken and it'll be good. Nope. That's mobile ordering. But all in all, the day was great. I had such a good time. And it was so good just to get to see everyone and get to see Melissa, get to see everybody that I haven't seen in person.
But definitely take Tylenol with you.
Oh yeah, take
We
it,
will
take it, take
stress
it.
that. Take it with you. Larry was right. Take his warning. Yeah. I'm still kind of recovering.
Wow.
It was the next day was a little rough. We drove home, and I was very sore. I'm a little aches left, but not too bad. You know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I
Yeah.
thought I was going to be 5 hours in and just be done. I thought I was going to be just miserable for 3/4 of the day, and it didn't happen. I walked 28,000 steps at the end. I checked my watch at the end. 28,000. And you know what? It felt good. It felt like I was home. It felt just like it was, just to be there with people, just to be in a place that was familiar, a place that I know. Walk around Disneyland with my eyes closed if I had to. And it was just fantastic to be there and experience everything.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. Man, I'm so happy for you both. I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to go. I'm glad that you had such a great time. Like I said, I'm looking forward to finally going to the park when we have an opportunity to go. Just crossing my fingers that everything continues going well and decent enough that I won't have to pull out last minute, from going to the park. But just hearing Larry talk about it, seeing some of our other friends going, I just keep getting more and more excited.
I will say one little thing. You most likely would want to park at Toy Story parking lot. They have shuttles, and they will give you masks. You have to wear a mask.
Yeah,
when
you have to wear a mask on the shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's run by ART, the Anaheim Regional Transit.
Right.
Mickey
And masks are required on there.
You're gonna have to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen
that is my
that they're
advice
still
right there.
not functioning. Yeah, the trams are still
And
down.
security. They have security at Toy Story lot now. So you park, do your security, everything at Toy Story. Bust over. They now have a fence and everything. So once you hop off the bus, you walk straight into the Esplanade. So
that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's a much more seamless transition. It was so easy. I mean, granted, I got there at the parking lot at 6:50 in the morning. So I was the first car in the row of 5 to go through, one of the first 5 cars to get in. So we had we jumped right on a bus. But from what I've been hearing, Toy Story seems to be the way to go, especially if you want to have less walking, if you want to not walk that slog to, either through downtown Disney or down the tram route.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Whenever I try to walk for anything, I have a hard enough time getting 3,000 steps in by the end of the day. And yet at Disneyland, we could do 20, 30,000 or whatever. And it's like, yeah, no problem. Let's just keep walking.
Exactly.
We're good.
Right.
So crazy.
Oh, also, I wanted another pop-up thing. I was reading my giant list of things, trying to remember everything. People, be kind to cast members. It's not that hard. We were waiting for the bus to go back to the parking lot, and just chatting with one of the cast members, trying to pass the time waiting for the bus. And I just asked her how her night was going, and she goes, "Oh, only a few people called me swear words and stuff so far on my shift." And I go, "Oh, I'm so sorry," because they have to make sure everybody's wearing a mask on the bus because it's the bus policy. And she doesn't make the bus policy. She just has to enforce it. And people are screaming at her, screaming at all these cast members. And you know what? I know the people that listen to Podketeers are very kind to cast members, but spread the word. Be kind to cast members. They work hard to make the magic for you.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a great note for us to end on. Again, I'm so glad that you guys had such a great time. Thank you guys for sharing your trip report and how things went. I'm
very
super
long-winded
excited.
trip report.
Yeah, but man, just I don't know. I think hearing you talk about it along with the photos you were posting throughout the day and knowing what it feels like to be in the park and just kind of walking through the park in my head and like riding these attractions with you as you're talking about them and everything. I don't know. I just, like I said, I'm getting more and more excited about finally being able to go back to the park. So I'm crossing my fingers, doing whatever I can to make sure that stays and I can still go to the park and that everything works out. And so at this point, I'm just hopeful, and I can't wait till I can be back on property at Disneyland proper. So that's it. I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. So any final thoughts? I know you just mentioned the cast member thing, but any final thoughts before we wrap up? Close this one out.
When can we do this again?
Yeah, let's go. We gotta. I'm already ready to go again.
Oh man, I know that's how I'm gonna be feeling as well. So that's it. It's gonna wrap it up. So until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.